All right, let's dive into a pretty wild idea today. Imagine a bank that's owned top to bottom by its members. A bank whose value is backed by a real physical asset. And, get this, a bank that operates without asking anyone for permission. It's a radical concept, so let's break down how it's supposed to work.
So I want you to just think about this for a second. Every single bank you've ever dealt with, well, it exists because some government or central authority said, okay, you're allowed to exist. But what if one didn't need that stamp of approval? What if it could just be?
And this quote right here, it just nails the whole philosophy. This isn't about finding some clever legal loophole or a new type of charter. No. The entire idea is built on this foundation of radical independence. It's a system designed from the ground up to never have to ask permission in the first place.
Okay, so if its legitimacy doesn't come from a government license, where does its value come from? Well, the answer is about as old school and tangible as it gets. You can literally hold it in your hand. The whole foundation of this system is real physical silver.
And this is the first really crucial piece of the puzzle. The value isn't just sitting in some big corporate vault somewhere. Instead, the community, the members themselves, provide the backing. Every single person who joins has to contribute by pledging their own physical silver. This creates a kind of decentralized, community-owned reserve of value.
You see, this is what grounds the whole system in reality. It's not just a bunch of code floating in the ether, it's a digital representation of a real physical thing. And that thing is pledged by the very people who are using the system. It's this direct link from the digital token right back to the real-world value, all owned and controlled by the community. That's so key.
So you've got this pool of physical silver pledged by all these different people. How in the world do you turn that into a fluid, functional currency you can actually use? Well, this is where the virtual side of the bank really comes into play.
The system's actual unit of exchange is called a virtual milligram of silver. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. A digital token that represents a tiny, specific, and verifiable amount of the real silver being held by the community. This makes sure that every single digital unit has a direct physical counterpart.
So here's how it actually works in practice. First step, you pledge your physical silver. Simple enough. Second, your account gets credited with the equivalent value in these digital tokens. Third, you can now use those tokens to trade freely with anyone else in the community. And finally, and this is the really cool part, redemption is totally peer-to-peer. You don't go to some central office. You can redeem your digital tokens for physical silver from any other member, which makes every single user both a buyer and a seller.
Now we're getting to the most radical part of this whole idea. We've talked about the silver backing, we've talked about the digital tokens, but what truly sets this concept apart is its governance structure. Or maybe more accurately, its total lack of a central one.
You know, the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think about something like Bitcoin. It operates on a massive network of users without a CEO, without a central bank telling it what to do. This system proposes the exact same thing. The members themselves are completely autonomous. They are the bank.
So where does a bank like this even exist? The concept uses this really fascinating phrase, an off-planet virtual jurisdiction. Now, hold on, it doesn't mean it's literally in outer space. What it means is that it operates in its own self-contained digital reality, a sovereign space created by its users for its users, completely independent of any single country's laws or borders.
I mean, when you put them side by side like this, the difference is just, it's fundamental. Traditional banking is top-down. A central institution gets a license to operate in a specific place. This model is completely bottom-up. The members are the authority, operating in their own virtual space without ever asking for permission. It just completely flips the whole power structure on its head.
So you might be wondering, okay, why are we even talking about this? It's a pretty out there concept. Well, it matters because it forces us to ask some really fundamental questions. Whether or not a model like this could ever work at scale, its core principles really challenge our basic assumptions about what money is, what trust is, and what a community can do.
So let's just recap what we're looking at here when we put it all together. It's a self-governed financial system where the digital value is tied to a real physical asset. Redemption is completely peer-to-peer. It's designed to operate totally outside the traditional frameworks. And every single member is an owner, a user, a buyer, and a seller all at the same time.
And that really leaves us with one final massive question to chew on. This whole concept suggests that a community, with really nothing more than a shared asset and a common set of rules, can create its own financial system from scratch. If that's true, if anyone, anywhere, can create a bank,
What does money itself even become?